Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to compare the most expensive Nike tennis shoes to the cheapest Nike tennis shoes. So the most expensive tennis shoes right now from Nike are the new Zoom Vapor 9.5 leather shoes. So for you guys that saw my Zoom Vapor video a while back, you will know that the Zoom Vapor 9.5 is my favorite tennis shoe of all time. And this is a shoe that hasn't been done before because it's all leather. It has all the components of a regular 9.5 shoe, but if you look at the top part of the shoe here, that's normally mesh, but on this one it's leather, which could possibly make it more durable. So I'm super excited to test this shoe. And the cheapest Nike shoe that I can find is the Nikecourt Lite, and I got this for $57. And it's actually a pretty good looking shoe. I can see myself wearing this casually off the court. I do like the design. It has a Nike tennis court logo in the back, a tennis ball logo on the tongue, and it does feel like a high quality shoe despite its low price. So it's going to be exciting to test this one out. First impression of the Zoom Vapor 9.5 leather, I love them. If there's one negative thing about the regular Zoom Vapor is the mesh design in the front, which feels comfortable and gives the shoe a lot of breathability, but it does wear out a lot. So these shoes do feel sturdier. They feel a lot sturdier than the regular Zoom Vapor shoes, while having all the advantages of the old Zoom Vapors. And I gotta tell you, I love these shoes, and they look cool as well. This color, it's available right now. It looks white, but it's actually kind of like an off-white, and the actual swoosh itself is not painted on, it's actually stitched on. So this is a cloth material that's stitched on the shoe, so it's super stylish, super high quality. One other thing that I do notice is that sometimes on the Zoom Vapors you would get the tongue to move around and there'd be a gap between the shoe and the tongue, and you can see the sock sticking out. This tongue looks a little bit wider, and I don't honestly see that happening on the Zoom Vapor leather. So this is maybe the best Zoom Vapor that I've ever tried on. Now it's going to be important to see how it performs when I start running around. Oh, hey, oh, hey, hey. That's too good, Milan. But guys, I gotta tell you, so far when I'm on the run, when I'm making those hard stops, this shoe is just like any other Zoom Vapor 9.5, is the best performing tennis shoe that I ever had. So far, I gotta tell you, I love these shoes. Now, before I get started with the cheapest shoe, I want to point out a potential problem, and that is this top part right here that sticks out. So it's not an even surface. I'm not sure if you can see it, but my worry is that this is gonna give me blisters. So let me try to walk around in these. Yeah, I do feel that thing in the back, especially on my left foot, because my left foot happens to be a little bit bigger than my right foot, but I mean, they're kind of comfortable. They're not too bad, but let me hit some balls with them and I'll guide you through my thoughts. And I gotta tell you, it's not so bad actually. There is some good cushioning in this shoe. It doesn't feel like I thought it would feel. I thought that it's gonna feel as if I'm walking barefoot out here, but the cushioning is quite good. Like I said, the only problem I have with them is that I do feel something in the back, so it's not too comfortable. I'm gonna make Milan run me around and we'll see how they perform when I get on the run. Guys, these shoes are not as bad as I thought they would be. Even on the run, there's quite a bit of stability and it doesn't feel too uncomfortable when I'm moving around the court. So I'm actually very positively surprised by these shoes. We'll play a tie break.
All right.
You playing with the most expensive shoes. I'm playing with...
How much are these for?
180.
180, and those are 50?
Those are like 57.
Wow, that's a big difference.
So one set with you with the expensive, me with the cheapest, and then we flip and you play with the cheap shoes. Just so that we could get a more accurate review of the shoes. Out. I gotta say, these shoes feel really good. I'm starting to feel the thing in the back less and less. Like my foot is getting used to it, but it feels very comfortable playing the shoes. I gotta tell you, for $57, these shoes do the job.
Ah, make it.
Oh no! It wasn't the shoe's fault though. I think these have to be worn in a little bit because the regular Zoom Vapors don't need any warming in, breaking in, so to speak. So I feel like as I'm wearing these, they're feeling better and better. Too good. So Milan, what do you think about those?
Very good shoes, yes.
How do you feel like when you're running and stopping?
I think they're soft enough where you can slide if you wanted to.
These right here surprised me a lot.
In a good way?
In a good way. They're
Yeah.
not bad at all. So let's switch now and let me see what you think about them. Love the Zoom Vapors, feel great all the way around. I really have no complaints whatsoever. Lateral movements, these are some of the best attributes of the Zoom Vapor because when I step out, I feel the ultimate control on my foot. So in that regard, these shoes are top notch. Milan, what's your verdict, man? What do you think about the cheap shoes?
I think cheap shoes are actually pretty good too. I think they surprise me. I think they're very comfortable and I would recommend them for most amateur players. The more expensive shoes are obviously amazing. They have such quality material and they're very comfortable. They're sturdy, but at the same time they're flexible enough so you can move around and slide.
But do you think there was a huge difference?
I would say there is a slight difference perhaps, and mostly in comfort, to be honest, rather than performance. Maybe a slight difference in performance, but you know, if you don't want to spend a lot of money on shoes or you're just learning to play tennis, I would probably recommend these.
I gotta tell you, and I'm a Zoom Vapor Pro
Expert.
I'm a Zoom Vapor 9.5 fanatic.
Yeah.
I have tons of them. And I love these.
Yeah.
And they're great shoes.
Right.
But I have to be honest and say that these cheap shoes, I was ready to completely trash them. But you know what?
Very surprising, yes.
These are actually nice shoes.
Oh, yeah.
And anybody that's like at the beginner level
100%.
or even intermediate level, often people say tennis is so expensive. I agree, tennis can be very expensive, especially if you play competitive tennis.
Right.
Whether it's in juniors or you're trying to play in college or pros, it's extremely expensive, no doubt about that. It can even get expensive at the recreational levels.
Right.
If you're taking lessons, if you're buying expensive equipment and so on. But if you want to get into tennis, the beautiful thing about the United States is that we have free public courts.
Yep.
You can grab a few cans of tennis balls at Walmart or Target for very cheap.
Yep.
It'll cost you about $2.50 a can. You can get a cheap racket from Walmart for 20 bucks or less. And you can grab yourself a pair of authentic Nike tennis shoes, because a lot of beginner players come on the court in running shoes with a
Right.
pointy tip, and that's very dangerous because those are not made
100%.
for lateral movement. So you should always play tennis in tennis shoes because tennis shoes are designed for lateral movement. And you can grab yourself a high quality pair of tennis shoes for 50 bucks. It is something that is pretty affordable, I gotta tell you. And for anybody looking to get into the game of tennis, tennis does not need to be expensive, despite what people say. It can be expensive, but it doesn't have to be.
I agree 100%. These shoes are pretty good and I would recommend them to pretty much any level.
Now, Milan, I'm a big fan of you as a player. I'm especially a fan of your athleticism. I think you're an incredible athlete. But I knew this was going to happen. But look what you did to my shoes.
No way.
You scuffed them, man. Look at this.
Oh, I'll clean it.
I was gonna wear these. I was gonna wear these out, man.
Just a 10-minute tiebreaker, can't believe it.
Look at this.
I know.
You're a very aggressive mover. But it's just, It's a couple of scuffs. I'm just joking around.
Oh, okay.
Tennis shoes are supposed to be worn out.
Thank you.
But thank you, man, for helping me test
Thank you,
these
Coach
shoes.
Nick. It's always my pleasure.
That was good.